Hello Earthlings! Here is Marcin Staniszewski with yet another episode of Little Modular. This time we will be taking a closer peek at this beautiful, fat, black, tasty multi-effect by Synths, which is called Black Hole DSP, as you can see. Alright, enough. Okay. As I mentioned, it's a new thing. Beautiful module, as usual, crafted by Synths. You can see solid knobs, right spacing in between them. It's a multi-effect which is built upon the same chip as the classic already ZDSP by Tip-Top. So the chip is Spin FV1. We have the same engine in here. The difference is that the ZDSP has interchangeable effects that are stored on this little card in the front of the device. And here we have two banks of 8 effects. So effectively 16 effects. In the future, you will be able to change the set of those effects, but to do so, you will have to unscrew the module and change the chip on the board, on the back. Now, I'm using this effect together with the Black CV expander, which allows me to control the depth of modulation of each of those parameters. Speaking of, the power of this module lays in its simplicity. It's a simple module to use compared, for example, to ZDSP. You have only 5 knobs. One of them is controlling presets, as you can see. You have rate value, which controls the internal clock rate. You can get some nasty lo-fi glitches when you slow it down. And then you have the dry wet knob, which doesn't need explanation, I believe. And then we have 2 parameters. Those parameters change depending on algorithm chosen here. So sometimes this is the feedback, sometimes this is a left channel time, then this is right channel time, for example. It depends on the algorithm. But it's a really straightforward effect. There's no menu diving, nothing like that. So you can achieve some extreme results in no time, virtually. So let's look at the panel. You control presets here parameters, and one thing worth mentioning, each of these parameters has a dedicated modulation in, which for me is a biggie, as it expands on possibilities of effects module like this vastly. These inputs, modulation inputs, except of the preset knob, can have a dedicated attenuator, meaning that instead of patching a modulation directly into the modulation jacks, you can patch them here and attenuate the modulation, which I will show you shortly. But first, let's take a look at the presets. I have cooked up a simple patch that you have heard at the beginning of this presentation, which sounds like this. And let's just go fast through all the presets. The first bank is made up mostly of delays, so you can hear nice stereo. By the way, it's a stereo effect, of course. So I have connected stereo outs to my mixer. And there's also overdrive LED, so if the module clips, you're gonna see it. And I do recommend to drive it sometimes and to overdrive it, because it screams and it makes some really nice distorted sounds also. So the first one is simple delay, left time delay, right time delay, as you can hear. Next one is a pitch shift delay. So we get a delay time and a pitch filter control right here. Next one is a moving low pass delay. as the name implies. Delay time here, filter LFO speed at this knob. Next one is high pass delay. You can hear it, this nice sizzling filter. By the way, all of the algorithms sound really gorgeous. I mean, for me, it's top level compared to the best hardware units like Eventide, for example. So, but they can also get gritty and lo-fi with the aid of the rate knob. When you slow down, you get this lava-like liquid asphalt. I love this gooey delay. Okay, I'm sorry, I just got excited a little bit, so let's get back to the presets. Preset number 5. This is a delay with regenerating feedback, so it's kind of like a dubby delay, and you can freeze the delays, as you can hear. Some crazy long feedback, train wreck type of delay. Okay, the next one, number 6, 6-step delay with resonating feedback. The first knob controls delay time, the other one feedback. Pretty straightforward. Okay, the next one is a glitch delay. As the name implies, you control the grain delay with this knob, and you can filter it out with this knob right here. Okay, and the last in this bank is delay into reverb. As the name implies, you get a delay time, and the second knob controls reverb. So now let's get back to the second bank. You can switch the bank with this button right here. Okay, there is a dot next to the digit, you can see. It means we are in the second bank. And as you can hear, we have a reverb right here. Reverb time with this knob, filter with this one. Second preset is kind of this, similar to the first one. It's actually a 2-stage reverb, so a different flavor. Okay. Third one is a room reverb, a really nice one. I love it, as you know, if you set up a small times, it sounds like, you know, kind of excited flanger type, you know, effect. It's almost like a chorusy flangey, you know, effect. I love it. Actually, you know, I used to hate flangers, but since I got the black hole, I'm really falling in love with these effects again. You know, it's really good for techno, as you can hear it. It cuts through a mix like a knife through a butter. Ooh, love it. Okay, let's get back. This one even better. Delay with HPLP filter. So delay time here, and you can hear, you know, it's a little bit, you know, overdriven, but I like it that way. So let's see what happens if I overdrive it even. You can hear it. Okay, so really organic, liquidy quality to it. I think this is one of my favorite, you know, algorithms here. It just sounds so vibey. Okay, next one, fifth one is a hyper saturator plus reverb. Now I have a prototype, an early prototype, so I kind of think this is not the algorithm that it's supposed to be here. Okay, so number 6, it says in the manual it's granular delay, but to me it sounds more like some crazy wacky reverb. You can hear it has this flangy quality to it. Oh, it sounds like it's almost, you know, you can add some chords with it. See, that's how it sounds dry when I add it. It's almost like a resonator. Okay, really exciting stuff. Next one, this is delay into flanger, and again, if you put it clockwise, it'll freeze. Okay, this is grain size, and now if you play with the rate button, for example, things get really out of hand quickly. And the last preset in this is a simple chorus with the rate and width control. Alright, so now let's talk some modulation right now. As I mentioned before, you can modulate each of the knobs right here from the input CV sockets, but you could also use the expander to control the overall depth of the modulation. And it's pretty simple. Well, the first knob and the first socket is responsible for modulation depth control of dry wet parameter. The second one goes for parameter number 1, the third one controls parameter number 2, and the fourth one controls the rate parameter. So let's say, for example, you would like to control the rate parameter and the depth of this modulation. So I'm gonna, instead of plugging into the into the rate right here, I would plug it into number 4 CV input. And right now we can't hear any modulation, but what if, and you can hear it, when I turn it up, you can hear the modulation, okay? Maybe to make it more prominent, I plug in a square wave from Batumi, and maybe a little bit faster, and it goes like this. You can hear it. So if I would like to make the modulation less obvious, I would just turn this knob down, this attenuator down. See? So the LFO is not so prominent anymore. Now, what if we just plug it in all of the other CVs? So for example, I'll control the dry wet. You can hear it immediately. Some nice fun things happen. Now then I'll control parameter number 2 and parameter number 1 and parameter number 2. Here we go. So now we have different degrees of modulation on each of the parameters. Okay? So we can achieve some nice fluctuations. Okay? Hear how it all evolves and changes when I change the LFO speed, for example. Some really nice evolving, morphing patches can be constructed this way in no time, literally. Very nice indeed. Okay, so to sum it up, it's a really high quality multi-effect with great build quality to it. Every parameter could be modulated, including the preset changes that give you some wacky possibilities. You can control it with an extra expander that gives you control over the depth of the modulation. And you can change the effect set with the soon-to-come effect boards that plug in the back of this device. I highly recommend it to anyone searching for some cosmic bliss. Perfect for techno. Just listen to it. I can't stop. Seriously. Please, take it away from me before it's too late. Okay? Sorry guys. I have to go. I simply cannot focus anymore on talking to you and reviewing this module. Bye bye. Thank you very much for your attention.